Alright guys, this is going to be another unscripted video, so apologize if I ramble or go off topic. But I've been watching a lot of First Man videos lately. I do watch Hamza as well, but recently it's been more so First Man. And he talks a lot about the male advantage, and basically it's where men get better as their life goes on, but you got to put in the work now. And his latest video, he was at the gym, and it was Boxing Day, and there was no one else in there. And he's like basically just saying, like, put in the work when no one else is, the whole outwork your competition thing. So I just wanted to give a brief summary of why I think that's true. And I've actually been doing this sort of crap before I found Hamza and First Man, but they're definitely correct and they're definitely onto something. So what you're seeing on screen now, it just says the grind, and it's got, all these numbers and whatnot. What this is basically a summary of all of the days I worked this year and all of the days I was at the gym, and this also includes the hours as well. You'll see total retail days. It's basically any time I did a shift there. This can include like a 4-hour night shift at Woolies, during the weeknight, but most of them are 9-hour shifts during the weekend. And the corporate days, well, obviously that's like if I, worked at my full-time job. It wasn't always full-time. It turned full-time about 6 weeks in. So that's why the first couple of weeks you're seeing there aren't exactly all 5-day weeks. So some people won't see the point in tracking your full days at your full-time job, because obviously it should always be pretty much the same. Obviously you have sick days and days off for, miscellaneous life stuff here and there. But I like to track it because, as you can see in column C and D, it includes the total work days for the week and the total work hours for the week. I've put in a conditional format for them, so it highlights any times where I've worked 58 hours or more a week, which would imply that I've worked 7 days that week. And obviously you can also see that, the 7 days is also highlighted. Like the first row, for example, the conditional format's off there. That 59 is meant to be highlighted. But as you can see, that was a full work week for me. The New Year's Day fell on a Friday, and I worked 9 hours at Woolies on that Friday. So I started the new year, 2021, working 9 hours. Like most people spend that hungover. Like I'm 1 day ahead of the competition already in the new year. And obviously, as you can see, the total retail days, I just like calling the supermarket job retail days and then calling the office job corporate days. I worked 102 shifts at Woolworths this year, right? Now, most people, when they get a full-time job, when they've been working part-time throughout uni and whatnot, they will quit. They will quit their part-time job once they get an offer for their full-time job. Now, I reckon you should at least stay there till you're there after probation before till your employment's secure. Like I learned that the hard way at my other 2 jobs. Luckily, I had the grind mentality to not leave, or I'd be pretty screwed. Would have been pretty screwed. Having really no income after losing those jobs, but I kept Woolies, which was a smart idea for them. But I mean, I just want you to have a look at that. 102 shifts. If I had quit like everyone else, that's 102 shifts worth of money, less I would have had this year. So I want you to just have a look at this screen for a sec. So it's basically a summary of the money I made this year. So in total, including superannuation and fringe benefits and team bonuses, I made $91,340.92. You'll see that stocks and crypto are blank. That's because most of those gains are unrealized. There was a few. I did sell some Axie Infinity and some Phantom when they had a run up, but I haven't actually calculated that in yet. But if you include that, it's probably an extra $1,000 and a bit. I never really put too much into crypto because I never really had that much money. like I tended to get a lot more money later in the year, but that's when most of crypto's gains for the year had already been realized. And I also bought land later in the year, so I was starting to be a bit more careful with my money, just because I wasn't really liking the volatility in the market at the time. So yeah, I also just mentioned that I got land, so that's also had some appreciation in value since I bought it. I think it might be worth an extra 20 grand. So if you include that, unrealized gains from stocks, crypto, and the land, I guess that's also an unrealized gain. I'm well above six figures for this year, which is pretty damn good if I say so myself. But that's not really what I'm here to talk about at the moment. The topic at the moment is look at the amount I made from my retail gig. $29,438.47. Like, just think about that. That's just working part-time, like working extra on the weekends and a couple of extra nights here and there. Whereas most people just give that up just because they work full-time, they work 5 days a week, and they call it a week. They say job well done, Friday afternoon. Like, you've still got Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Like, there's still a lot of week left, and people are just calling it quits at the end of that. Like, look at all that extra money. That's going to go a long way. Like, all of that extra money, that Woolies money, that's basically all the money I put in the 5% deposit for my land, and basically every cent that I've got in the crypto market right now. Like, I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I had just stuck to this full-time job. Like, it pays pretty well considering the position and considering how, well, technically early I am in my career, but like, look at that extra money too. You might be wondering what the team bonus is at the bottom. So that's basically the discounts I get from my staff discount at Woolworths. So I fill up petrol at, what's it called again? It's not Caltex. It's I can't believe I can't think of it at the moment. But it's basically like the Woolies petrol. So we get a discount there, and we obviously get a discount from the groceries as well. So just by working there, I've saved an extra $486. Like, that's like, you could just YOLO that whole thing into a random shitcoin and it could just like moon. Like, that's an opportunity you have just for working that extra job that you wouldn't have otherwise. But we'll go back to this image now. You can see on the far right in columns I and J, columns I and J, total gym hours and total gym days. So I had 163 gym sessions throughout this year. Now, honestly, that's kind of a lot lower than I was expecting, but I did have to prioritize my career a lot this year. So basically, whenever we have exams, I just don't go to the gym at all during that time because I get really stressed out. Like, when I'm at the gym, when the exam's looming, I'm like, damn, this is a lot of study time I'm missing out on. Like, some people go because it helps them de-stress, but I find it just adds to my stress, so I just don't go at all. And something that's actually not noted in this document is the time I spent studying. I couldn't count that. Like, I'm not going to spend time tracking how much time I spend studying. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do as much as I feel I need and I'll call it a day with that. And obviously it worked. I passed a tax exam and 2 CPA exams. You know, that's another thing, back to the whole, progression thing. Most people just do a uni degree and call it job well done. Like, I've pursued higher than tertiary education, as you can see in my other videos. Like, I've also got a graduate certificate of artificial intelligence for business as well, which I got during last year's lockdown when everyone was just lounging around at home. I decided to make something useful of that time. I want to draw your attention to this snippet now as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of highlighted stuff here compared to the last one. So the last one wasn't as highlighted due to basically me sort of just getting into the groove of the whole new job thing and the study thing. And obviously I wasn't actually full-time at the start. And there was a lot of public holidays too, like Australia Day. I worked just 3 hours that day, but technically that was a day off for me. Working anything less than 5 hours is technically a day off in my eyes. Like, you've 24 hours in a day, you're only working five of them. Like, you've got plenty of day left. You know what I mean? But I mean, as you can see, just look at this shit. Look how many weeks there were where I was working 7 days in a row. Like from the 2nd of May to the 8th of May, you can see I worked 7 days straight, 5 days at the corporate gig, 2 days at Woolies, and I still managed 4 gym sessions and 8.5 hours total. Like, some people work full time and they just like, oh no, I don't have the energy to gym. Like, no, you've got so much time to gym if you just work full time. Like, there's 168 hours in a week. You're at work for 40. Like, yeah, there's travel and shit, but like, you've got so much extra time than I do. Like, that gym used to be a 6 day a week thing for me, but I just can't handle that kind of volume anymore given the work routine. Like, I just can't get the calories in or the recovery or the sleep necessary to do a 6 day gym week. But if I could, you bet that I would. Like, just look at this tab, for example. It's very incomplete. Like, I was just doing it for some funsies at some point during the year. Obviously, I've had a lot more days off since then, but like, look at this last day off, 28th of April. That was my second graduation for my grad cert of AI I was talking about before. Obviously, it didn't work that day, but I did gym after it. Like, I was at the gym, and then I had some people like, why are you here? Like, didn't you just graduate? Like, yeah. Like, I've the ceremony's done. Well, it wasn't really a ceremony because it was like a sort of lockdown thing. I had a proper graduation for my bachelor's because that was in 2019 before the virus hit. So, but all the pleasantries were over. Some people would be out getting absolutely sloshed with their friends, because they have an excuse. Oh, I graduated. That's an excuse, but they've got an excuse every week. Oh, it's the end of the week. Oh, yeah, I had a rough week. Oh, it's so and so's birthday. It's someone's birthday all the time. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like the whole, you just keep getting better and better. Like, I graduated and I was at the gym a couple hours later. Like, yeah, I was proud and yeah, it was good, but the time off I had was at that ceremony. Like, once you're done, get back to it. Like, you can't just stop just because of some event, you know what I mean? So as you can see, one of them, I worked 47 days in a row now. Around day 36, I was getting pretty bummed out. I was getting pretty wrecked, to be honest. I reckon about 33 to 34 days is roughly my tolerance, but keep in mind that this does include, obviously, the 7 day work week and gym as well. Like, if I didn't gym, I could probably handle more. So, but the point is, like, look at that, like 47 days in a row. Like, what? Most people work 5 days in a row, 2 days off, 5 days in a row, 2 days off. Like, did 47 straight with gym. Now, note that this was during the semester break, so there wasn't as much study. So I might not have lasted as long if I had the stress of CPA study as well. But like, just look at it. Just keep grinding, guys. Just keep going. And then I'll divert your attention to the last image I've got here. So this includes like the last third of the year. So, I mean, the bottom week snipped off a bit, and as you can see at the bottom corner, it's the 28th, so it's not really the end of the year. But tomorrow, I'm back at work at my corporate gig, and I'm doing a retail shift later that night too. And I'm also again at the corporate gig on the Thursday and back at the retail gig on the Thursday night. So the next 2 days, I've got 2 jobs in a row back to back. And Friday, I'm back at the office, and I'm not working New Year's Eve like the night, which is unusual for me. Normally, I am working that. But I guess because since I'm working the 2 days preceding, and I'll be back there on New Year's Day anyway, it's probably best if I actually had a bit of a breather. But guess what? I bet you I'll be at the gym that night. I won't be out getting sloshed like everyone else. I'll probably be at the gym, despite the fact that the 2 days prior I was working back-to-back jobs. Like this is what it takes. Like, I don't know if you can see at the bottom, but there's 26 retail hours and 4 retail days. Well, technically it's retail shifts, but you know what I mean? Like, this is a time of year where most people are like, they have time off work. I mean, like, it's fair enough. Like, if your workplace is shut, obviously you can't work. But the point I'm getting at is most people just do absolutely nothing during this time. Like, they just lounge about. Like, if you look at like my TikToks and shit, I was working on my days off. Like, I was at the gym and I was working on this business, making some content, trying to get this thing up and running. Like, what else do most people do on their days off? You know what I mean? Like, they don't do anything. I'm pretty sure I put a TikTok that I was working on Christmas Day as well, like just doing some stuff for the business as well. Like, if you want to have some time off, that's fine, but every day that you have off is one day that someone else gets ahead of you. So yeah, I don't really take any sort of time off at all. I don't obviously work on the business or anything every day. If you see this video that's popping up now, there'll be a timestamp in there somewhere where basically I talk about why I haven't actually been working much on the business in 2021. I've also picked up now, but basically it's because of my CPA studies. Like, that takes priority at the moment because that will pay off sooner, and I have a shorter time frame to get that done. So, but I'm trying to juggle both of them. And while CPA study isn't going on, I'm going to grind this business stuff out. But like, again, guys, just to circle back, like 2,740 work hours this year, 338 and a half work days. So the half day was the Australia Day, I guess, that Australia Day public holiday that I worked. Looking back, I just realized that this sum actually takes into account, obviously, any retail shifts. So I didn't exactly work 338 days, but I worked 338 shifts. So technically, it was like 339 shifts because that half day was, yeah, counted. But like, that's a lot of shifts, guys. Like, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot more work than people are putting in, and the finances reflect that. Like, it's not the money that I get from the jobs that I am also pleased about. It's what I do with that money. Like, I bought land and it's appreciated 20 grand already. Like, I've basically gotten almost what I got from Woolies this year again, just by having that extra money to put into an appreciating asset. Like, the only reason stocks and crypto aren't way up at the moment is because it's been kind of a shit month for them. They had like a little bit of a rally. Like, earlier today, they were up a bit, but they've plunged back down. But I'm just going to ride the wave, and who knows what it'll be worth this time next year. But like, that's like, that extra job is just more money to put into that kind of stuff. And like, the second job, I had another video on why I think it's beneficial to work a second job. Well, obviously I've mentioned a lot of it in this video, but another thing is you get like extra exercise, providing they're both not desk jobs. Like, I move around, I do like 10,000 to 12,000 steps per 9-hour Woolly shifts. Like, that's like what, the daily recommendation or something, and I'm getting paid to do that. And then I still go to the gym and shit after that too. Like, it's another good way to look at it. Like, just like, some people just hate the thought of a second job. Just look at all the positives of working a job. And like, especially in this climate, like, be thankful if you've got the opportunity to work 2 jobs, then just work them. Like, you know, most people would kill to be in your shoes right now, and you're out here complaining about it. Like, I made this basically just so you guys know, like, I know if you follow like Hamza and First Man, you're probably in the whole grind mentality type thing, you know, self-improvement and whatnot. But this is just my perspective on, like, there's other people out there like you. Like, I bet you've never heard of me before. Like, I didn't even know if anyone's actually going to see this, but I have faith if I keep working that this will turn into something. Like, yeah, like look at all the extra shifts I've worked, all the extra money I've made, the study as well, and with gym on top of that as well. Like, just keep working, guys. Like, make 2021, if you didn't get stuff done, well, that's all right. Now you know what not to do. So make 2022 your year. Like, these numbers will probably be even higher next year because I'll have started the year working full time and not 4 days. I can probably handle some extra woolly shifts as well. I'll still have study. I'll probably even gym a bit more now that my body's more accustomed to the whole 7 day work week and gym type thing, which it wasn't really used to before. And obviously, I know what I want to do in terms of this business. Like, when I was starting it, I didn't really know how to go about it, but I've got all the social media platforms set up. I'm just pumping out stuff, getting out that minimum viable product. Like, you just keep working. You just keep working on yourself. So anyway, I hope that helps, guys. I hope it's given you some perspective. Hopefully it's, I guess, some extra, I guess, motivation. If you're working two jobs yourself and you're trying to find time for gym, just gym after work, gym before work, whatever works for you, but just get it done, boys. Oh, and girls, of course, but I imagine that most people listening will be boys. Anyway, that is all.